Well, first off, Survivor, you can see Survivor and still be on a panel, you jerk. Second, your 11 minutes don't count on my stream. Your 11 minutes are only on yours. So I don't know what you're telling me about 11 minutes. 11 minutes don't matter. It doesn't matter. I thought you knew. I thought you were a computer guy, not a computer guy. so so it's like that, huh? Huh, Nader, huh? Now you're getting a little too big for your britches. You can't stick around and say what's up to the homie. Can't hang out. Okay, fine. I don't care. I don't need anybody anyways. I can see her by myself. I was alone. I was all by myself. oh, I really just wanted to tease Nader. Uh, I'm not gonna call him out. So there's like if people are gonna come around like any of his people that don't like him, um, you know who you are. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. I just like poking at him. He's a fun guy. Uh, and I just wanted to come on and talk about stuff that we've learned. Uh, not so much, not so much, with visuals because we've seen it enough, we've heard it enough. Uh, everybody's, you know, at least I would hope tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of all the, we're trying to uncover someone's lies and they're just like, oh, they're like, I never lied. I never lied. I never lied. It's like, dude, you lied. Like, just you lied. Who cares? Like, if you lied, you lied. If you lied, you lied. That's it. Like, let it go. Like, move on. But like, just stop lying. Like, uh, and it's one of those things. It's like, I don't, you know, I don't got like, I don't have the energy to keep fussing about it. Like once the stuff is called out, it's called out, right? I've never been a fan of circles. Like I always just like, okay, fine, things got drug out, whatever. Like you went through your thing and you keep going, whatever. Like just like a keep moving forward type of person. Um, and I like, I kind of like, I've kind of got a couple new goals as far as like the channel's concerned, and it's like not so much as ambitious as it once was. But then again, I didn't have a job before. I have a job now. It's very different. Less time. But I've also like it's easier to like think of the things that I want to do, and like one of them, um, soon, uh, we're gonna schedule it out. I'm gonna have Clifford on here, Clifford Reynolds. The guy used to read out the super chats for Big Cat, and have a little talk with him. Just like I you see, guys, when I started the channel, when I wanted to do my channel, it wasn't so much to go after people, okay? Because that wasn't really my goal. My goal wasn't to go after people or to go after frauders. I mean, we knew that we didn't like them, and I was willing to shine a light on that. But that was never really like my goal. My goal was never really like to say, "Oh, I want to go after that guy" or like end his whatever. That wasn't what I had in mind. But the thing that I had in mind was to try to understand where that person was coming from, whether they were people who actually believed in the things that they were saying, or whether they were just people who were lying. That was my thing because I had seen so many people who in different aspects of the criminal world that some were in a way trying to do good but didn't know how to, and others were like not trying to do good, that they like they hid behind the veil of things like protest and injustice and stuff like that. So that was pretty much gonna be my angle coming into this, because like um going through the system, having been to jail for like about a year, and like seeing how things work in the system, like there's things that I think people have a misunderstanding of as far as like procedures and how certain things work. But I also think there are things that need to get fixed in the justice system, that don't require us to like circumvent our constitution and all that stuff. That's like like that was the main goal of the channel, or what I wanted to do. But like it somehow it got like all like mixed up into a bunch of other stuff that It never went where I wanted it to go because, well, for several reasons, of course. I'm going through struggles, and I never got my shit, straight. And I've been figuring it out. Um, and then the other part too is like, trying to get in where you fit in. Like you're not. I didn't want to seem like, oh, I was gonna step on people's toes or anything like that, or like trying to like show respect and like, okay, like these guys go after this guy, and I'll try to go after my guy, whatever, stuff like that. But then like I kind of realized, like the guys that do good, they just do, you know, they just do. They don't sit there and wait and stuff like that. So I ended up stopped waiting to do, and I just started doing, and that kind of worked out for a little bit. Um, and so and it made me understand what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do. And so I started following people to see how they do it, and not to copy them, but to like to understand, like, okay, what is it that has people, watching, what attracts people to that channel and stuff like that, what keeps you interested in what they're saying and stuff like that. So I've been paying attention to that and stuff, trying to just get people to want to listen, want to hear out, what I got to say, but not so much, I don't want people to take me too seriously either, because I'm not 100% like I want to have fun too. Like, I want to goof around. I want to be funny because I like it. I like being funny. I like having fun. I don't like I don't like like wearing people out with drama and stuff like that. It's like, and don't get me wrong. There's a distinction to drama. Like I think that when you don't like somebody just because you don't like them, and then you go onto their channel just to talk trash to them. I think that's drama. I don't think calling out somebody because of something illegal, or because they're doing shit to hurt people, like there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're capable of doing it, and that you think that it's fair that you should do it, then do it. Like whatever. Understand that there's always scrutiny when it comes to that. uh that's why I never wanted my channel to go in that direction. I just always wanted to be somebody who gave his opinion on, basically somebody who lived the life, doing some, people who do bad things. Like I wasn't necessarily still doing them. I'm not doing them anymore. I haven't, I haven't had anything in my criminal record since like 2010. But it's one of those things. It's like I'm not trying to hurt people or anything like that. What I want people to understand, that some of these guys, like they make up stuff, or they say things just like, a certain, stolen valor person. It's like they'll say things, they'll do things, because they say, "Oh, the system's injustice," or like, "Look at how these cops treat us," and stuff like that. And in some cases, yeah, like some cases, some cops are bad, of course. Like, and everybody who is, who knows anything about the system will tell you that it's not perfect, and that there's gonna be people that are gonna be corrupt in it, they're gonna be bad in it, or whatever. And you can, you can suss those people out, but uh, for most part, um things like our correctional systems and stuff like that, they work exactly as they're supposed to be, a deterrent. They're a deterrent from us continuing doing, bad behavior. And that's what, you know people don't, I guess, I don't know. I really, one thing that I'm like, I and you may think that, like, when I say, I live in Los Angeles, that it's all like, because people think of Los Angeles like a democratic, it's all leftist or whatever. That's what they'll bring up. Um, but like, just, when you live in like the type of world that I live in, it's kind of like isolated from that. It's weird, and you can talk to Merv, and anybody who's out here will tell you it's kind of like it's kind of strange, because you got the, like the, all of that, like, oh, protest, and like, progressive, LA side, and then you got the, stuck in the stuck in the world of, like, gangs and like shootouts and like drug dealings, world. And so it's weird. It's just a weird isolation. And so it's strange in the sense that, like, you'll get one side that's, uh happy go lucky, or not. I don't even want to say that because it's more militant now. But you'll get people who are, all about, like, oh, look at how we're getting treated and this and that. And then there's a whole other side that's just like, shut the hell up, we don't want cops over here. So it gets pretty crazy like that. And so, like, that's kind of like where I wanted to put my like, put my foot forward on all of that, because it's like, people like Mystery Soft Sit over here, he's actually going up against somebody who's going up because if you guys don't know the history of Mystery Soft Sit, um, he is an actual cop watcher. And by cop watcher, I'm talking about like sits there and watches a cop, not asks them, what's the Third Amendment, not sits there and starts yapping and yapping and yapping, getting in his way and stuff like that. I'm talking about a true cop watcher. And so he was getting, just harassed by these First Amendment auditors because he didn't follow the things that they did. And that's the thing is that like that's where those are things that I'm here to draw the line on because there are people who have actual goals when it comes to these cop watching. Like it's not just let me find a random cop because I want to watch them. You know what I mean? It's like there's a corruption happening. Like there's and I'll just put it out there just as an example. You got the Rampart division. The Rampart division had its its corruption, and in order for people to call it out, there was people who had to like keep an eye on them, be watching them, be doing things like that, and that's actual cop watching because you're looking for certain things. You're not necessarily gonna go up to them and try to see their customer service, right? It's not about that. It's about trying to figure out where their corruption is at. What is it that they're doing wrong? um we had a situation in New York City of mine that had a police chief who was kind of favoring certain restaurants and markets in the city because he was selling particular types of meat that was coming out of his company, and he was making sure that his company got all the profits and stuff like that. And I forget like legally I couldn't recall like everything about that. I'm sure if I look it up and stuff, I'll remember everything as it goes. But um, we had to out some from the city as citizens, as like regular people. Like it was crazy because nobody thought we could do it. Nobody thought it was possible. It was just like, well, how are we gonna do this? And it's like, well, we got to figure out how we're gonna talk to them. How are we gonna put it all together. And there was a group of people that just got together and said, we'll do it. Like we'll do it a certain way. And that's why to me when I started seeing like fraud videos and stuff like that, it would get to me because like this is obvious. Like, obviously, this is a gimmick. Obviously, this is a ploy. It's a game, and I like to think that in a world of a lot of seriousness, a lot of craziness, um, we could have something like that, like a candid camera, right? A show where people are like intentionally, like prank other people or whatever to have fun. I mean, there was like Punk. I don't know how much, how many people were fans of that show, but I don't think there's anything wrong with messing around with people just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, like, but in a context, in a setting, in a certain place. Um, these guys are going on days where people are going to take care of their business and stuff like that, and you know, this um where people like say tats, people say like Merv who are gonna pick at people who are gonna say, well, that's like you can't do that to somebody because it's unconstitutional, or like you should let them have their freedom of speech, stuff like that, like because you believe in the Constitution. I get where they're coming from, and I understand why to the letter of the Constitution that would be correct, right? My thing has always been it's not about that. It's about them interrupting actual business and not being polite to people on purpose. And so that part is where I've always never had a taste for frauditing and all that stuff. And that's where I draw the line at. I just like, you're a piece of shit because you won't let people just go to the DMV and have their day. I mean, it's something that like, it tells to the type of person that does frauditing. Like they're only thinking about themselves in the grand scheme of things. They're thinking about how they're going to grow their channel, what's going to excite people, because this has nothing to do with the Constitution. And that's where I've always wanted to meet them at. It's like, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. If this is not about you and your rights, this is about you and you wanting to um make a channel, you and wanting to make money or whatever, there are some people who are a little bit more, like, on the side of doing their things of trying to understand the laws and stuff like that, and that's cool. Learn. Like you want to teach people or whatever. Or I don't think at a DMV or at a post office, or a place where people are just trying to like get along. You're gonna give them that education. I think it's gonna be a long ways before you get there. But if you're actually about that, I think it would be better that you actually do try to learn things, even if you say, um there's people who say, oh well, I don't trust, like, universities and stuff like that. I don't trust, um whatever. I don't trust institutions because they're run by the government, and they tell them what to say, whatever, right? Still, it would behoove you, if you're going to try to uh have a conversation with people in that realm, to at least understand how their rules work. Um, this is the thing about soft sits and First Amendment auditors. They're taking um, things that require a certain amount of interpretation, and you're trying to make it make sense without any knowledge of how that interpretation works. And so you're always going to be, out of your realm, no matter how much you think, because you're not going to take in the information how it's supposed to be taken in. Um, and that's always been my gripe with all that stuff. It's always been my gripe with everything. Like, with the people who talk about, their expertise in this and this and that. I'll never say I'm an expert in something. The only thing I'm an expert in is going to jail, going to how to keep your mind from going nuts in jail. Uh, when you get out of jail, how to keep yourself from getting into trouble and going back to jail. that would be that would be the extent of my expertise in the law. But I mean, other than that, like, that's why that was my whole take on this whole thing. But like I said, since all of that got like, it got derailed, or it didn't go where I wanted it to go. Um, my new direction, or the new thing that I want to do, and I know people have tried this or whatever, but it's not going to be what, like, I don't, I'm tired. I'm tired of, like, like, oh, I don't want to, I'm not used to doing that, or I don't want to do that. I want to grab people who have been like, oh, I'm not comfortable with doing that, and get them comfortable with doing that. Because I think that there are some people that like, people want to hear from, like, Dummy Kruger is a guy that's like, I think is hilarious. I think he's a good guy. I think that he deliberately avoids doing lives because he's nervous, but I'd like him to come on, not for my channel, but just to get him, like, get him some reps, get him going, see where he feels comfortable, and we can get him going. I'd like to have, like, conversations with people who've like I'm thinking about having Clifford Reynolds on, but because I'd like to have somebody on who actually had conversations with Big Cat. I'm not saying the skeptic didn't. That's, don't get me wrong, or anybody else. But I'm talking about actually somebody that we could talk to, because skeptic, of course, is really busy. It's difficult to get him to get on a live and stuff like that. But Clifford Reynolds is easy. Um, you know, I want to do things that are interesting within the community. And when I mean community, I mean the people that have followed these channels. I'm not talking about necessarily, like, any, group or tribe or whatever, stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, we all pretty much follow the same people, like, and we know who you are, you know who we talk to and stuff like that. So that's what I mean. So I'm thinking of, like, I'm gonna try to go for certain people. If they don't want to come on, or if they don't want to have a conversation with me, it's fine. I'm not taking anything personal anymore. I'm trying to keep that out of the equation. That's something that I brought in. Unfortunately, I should not have. Um, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult because I did have a lot of personable, like, relationships coming into this when I started my channel, with this community. And it shouldn't have been that way. It really shouldn't have. I should have been smarter in the way I looked at people and stuff like that. But whatever. Hindsight's always 2020, and of course, like, yeah, we always say, oh, we could have, should have, whatever. You know what I mean? well, who cares? Hey, you just move forward, you keep going, move on, whatever. Um, I would say from all this stuff that happened with the Wrangler situation, with with all the different people and stuff like that, I think I finally found where I feel okay with certain things. Um, I don't know if people are gonna feel okay with me. I really don't care. Um, I do care about certain people who I think are giving themselves too much and not actually like like internalizing and being like maybe I should just pursue things that are passionate to me, because I think there's a lot of people that bend and fold for the whole, and it's not appreciated enough. And I don't know. I don't know. That's up to them. I won't. You know. I'm not gonna be over here putting people on the spot or anything like that, because that's not, like I said, that's not my aim. My aim has never been to do these things to try to get people on the spot and like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you, like I'm gonna get you. No, it's never been about that for me. It's always been about like trying to figure things out, trying to figure people out. Even like frauders, like I don't think they're all necessarily like horrible. I do think that they're corny, they're cheesy, and sometimes they fall into that, those cycles of doing stupid things. If they would just get their heads out of their asses, and they could fix themselves. Of course, there's gonna be ones that don't want to, and of course, just people on our side are gonna be shit. They don't want to. But like it's I think that it's been it hasn't been terrible. I wish that some of the bigger channels would get on Wrangler, like Mystery said. Um, but what are we gonna do? I've seen this enough where it's like some people will get in the fight, some people won't. Thankfully Dick Bag did. He got in the fight. Ram, they're good guys. And one thing I've been wanting to do, and maybe I don't know, maybe I will do it, because I know Tones, he tried to do an iceberg. I'm not sure he did like a crab with the frauders, but I think we could actually do like a tier list for the anti frauders, or the people who go after frauders. I don't know what to call what call it, the group, but we know the group, right? Um, and like say like who's on what side or whatever, and as far as for me integrally, like like the guys that have seemed solid all the way through, have been Ram and Dickbag. Ram, because and I'll say it because he he just is who he is, right? If nobody knows Ram, and I don't know if it's okay if I say he was a chatter on somebody else's chat, and he had a different name. He was in Ram. Uh, he's just always been like one of those guys that's always been persistent in all the different chats, and he's always there, like conversating, having fun, whatever. Uh, and he is who he is. He's always been the same guy, just like Familia. Familia is another guy that's just like he is who he is, right? He doesn't like frauders. He gets mad, whatever. He gets frustrated. Like we love the way he talks. He's funny. Like I've always enjoyed this listening to him talk. That guy's like him and Ram. I think are just like two old men that just are just like solid. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna change them. They are who they are. And they do their thing. Like they don't overdo things. They just do whatever they can, and that's admirable. And that's Familia and Ram, and Dickbag. I mean, I think by far has shown like he's made all the right moves. I mean, it's as far as like somebody who has a decent channel, uh, someone who does what he does and doesn't apologize for it. Like like he goes after Chili, he makes his cartoons, but he doesn't apologize for not getting anything right or wrong. He does it how he does it, and he lets it be what it be. And that that's that that's kind of like that's kind of something that I'm trying to emulate. Like I want that. I want that quality. I want to be able to do my content without second guessing it or even thinking that people are gonna like it or not like it. I'm pretty sure he does have that feeling that whether he will or he won't, but it's obvious that it's not something that just that he carries with him, and so I absolutely admire him for that. The professor. Now I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know what's been going on with him. I know that he had some situations, and I should have called him. I'm probably gonna call him tomorrow. I think the professor is another guy that I think is getting overlooked a lot. I think mostly because of the people he's covering. Uh, you know, the people he's been covering are not obviously they're not great guys or anything like that, or they have a great like people are not going to defend them. I think, but I think that the community or the people who are watching these videos are looking for certain targets, right? And he's just outside of those targets, and I think that's why he gets overlooked a lot. But he does good work, and he's an actual journalist, so I think that it would help if I guess if he just was a little more open to people inviting him onto things. I don't know, or maybe people don't invite him. I have no idea. I just hope that he mingles more because I think that him getting out there is probably going to be better for the community. I think more people should get to know him, because he actually, like I said, he's a journalist. He does local stories. He's into that stuff. Like he's a journalist. He likes doing that stuff. He likes if you see his intros and stuff like that. He puts a lot of thought into his intros. So he's a smart guy. Like I think that him on anybody with anybody could help out their channel do something good. Um, and he's like I said, he's part of those guys that I think integrally probably one of the better people. Of course, like I would say the cream of the crop would be skeptic, and you know the frauders would say no, like he was a bad guy, this and that. But I've always had respect for skeptic. I've always had respect for skeptic from the times that he used to come on the lives, even when people would say that he was messing up because he would get drunk or whatever. Because skeptic is who he is. And that's the thing with anybody who I've ever had respect for. It's because they are who they are. Even if I don't agree with them, even if like say we don't exactly see each other, we can't see things eye to eye or whatever, certain things. As long as you are who you are, I kind of will always have a certain amount of respect for you. It's the shifty people, the people who lie or whatever, or double talk and stuff like that, that kind of get me. I'll have an ire for and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm I'm toning it down. I'm bringing it down. I've also will say, um, I allowed a lot of my personal pressures to make me make a lot of passionate rants in like with certain things, and I realized that I was getting too serious, and that's not the direction I want to go at all. Um, I really, I really hate that I got away from having fun. Like I really hate that. Like I'm so upset with myself that I let it happen, and I think that's why I've alienated myself from people because it's become so serious. You know what I mean? And it's like that's not who I am. I'm not that guy. That's why I gravitated towards Josh Stone Vet, and there's he's polarizing. People like are they're either 100% good to go with Josh, or you're you've got the disdain of knowing his failure, I guess you could say, with Blue Bacon, which doesn't if Blue Bacon uh would have just came out and I'll tell you guys right now, I'll tell you, I was 100% of the camp that I thought Bacon was being treated unfairly. I thought that for real, and I actually like I was like, oh man, Kate's being mean to him. I thought Shiz was being unfair. Like all that stuff. Like I really did, like 100%. And I was behind Blue Bacon. I was in his Discord server. And I was saying, I'm like, dude, like I got your back, this and that. But again, that was me putting personal, feelings towards somebody, and not actually like watching or seeing things objectively, like, or in the sense that, like, I was looking at what people were presenting to me. And now that I remember that's the direction I was going, it's on the only reason why I did it is because I thought I thought for sure Garth was gonna be up here with me. And this is what I want people to understand about this stuff is like, look, when it came to Blue Bacon, it was difficult for me to see what Kate and Jiz and everybody who was saying that he was a liar was talking about, because in my mind I thought that they were challenging him being a vet. Now, I don't know anything about being in the military. I don't know what exactly stolen valor is. My cousin who helped me call out Wrangler, and a couple other people that I know that are vets, I've talked to them about this stuff, and most of them are not like, they're not so uptight about it, but they're just like, if you suspect it, let a vet, say something about it. You don't worry about it. But if you think something's off, say something. But so I've always had that kind of like, I've always had that kind of attitude towards things like that. I don't. I'll defer to the expert. I'm not gonna sit there and tell somebody that they're stolen valor unless somebody comes like a Josh, or like, and so when they were saying that about Blue Bacon, and then Master Sergeant Retired came out and said that no, Blue Bacon, served and everything, and I didn't see the rest of it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to, like, I completely shut down from hearing anything else about Blue Bacon, because I was like, okay, there, like, that's it. He served, and well, like, get off his case or whatever. Um, and so I completely ignored all the stuff about the restraining orders, about him, like, and I wasn't at that live when he actually told Chili to come after him, because I definitely would have remembered that if I was there, and I would have been like, wait a minute, you told him to go, you know. And so, being as that is, and then retrospect and like looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. The same thing that people at Wranglers are doing now is what's going on with Bacon now. As far as like who's better or like who's worse, like who can you dismiss as far as like things that they have done wrong, I would say Blue Bacon is, by far easier to you know be be forgiving towards, right? uh but you know this stuff with Wrangler, I think that uh the last amount of people that are there, the people who are still supporting them, as far as the people who have known the whole story and stuff like that. I think, and this is just me. This is just theories. This is just me throwing stuff out there, because, like I said, I'm not here to talk about all the stuff that already come out, because it already came out and people know it. The knowledge is out there. There's more stuff that's gonna come out. That's gonna come out. Whatever. I think that now that the few remaining people are people who have been like scarred or hurt from being like following what the crowd is doing or whatever, and they just they figure, what, this is home base, this is safe, um and they don't care, because for them it's business as usual. And this is just my thought process. I haven't thought of like, okay, there's gonna be like, how do how do we approach them and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe somebody will figure that one out. I just think that people who are still supporting him are in that, I think they're just looking for something that's just home, you know what I mean? They don't they say they call the things that are outside that come in to like to derail their live streams as drama or whatever. Or they say, oh, don't, like, we're not gonna pay attention to you guys, like, leave them alone, whatever. And it's like, I think really what they're saying is, don't come here and mess with my good time or whatever, you know. And their good time is not pointing and laughing at stupid, even though that's what they call it, because it's not funny. It's not funny. Um, I think that they're pointing and just pointing and judging, and I think that's what they like to do. But they don't like the fingers pointing back at them, and so I think that's what's going on there. And if somebody figures out a solution to hit those people with that, those fingers that are pointing back at them, I think that'll completely knock off the support. That's just me talking, right? Obviously, one person. I'm not like I said, I'm not sad about it or anything like that. I've always had the idea that whenever I've decided to have a live stream or whatever, it's really just an open thought thing, and hopefully it gets picked up and people understand it later. Uh, yeah. And also too, I really was hoping MST would have been here. I wanted to have fun with them. I will say there's a few people that I've gotten closer to because of the whole situation. No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Some sometimes like shit happens and you're like, fuck, like and like I can't believe this went down like this or that. But then sometimes I think about the people that I met because of it, and I'm just like, um, you know what? Maybe it was okay. Maybe it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You know. Um, Sorry that didn't have much more to go on. Guys. I appreciate people coming and watching stuff that I put up. I know sometimes all it is bullshit like this, just talking or whatever. But I I do I do like talking. I'll confess. I like talking, but I don't like talking to nobody. I like talking to people. And I like bouncing, ideas back and forth. It's fun. I hope people want to do that. If you do, please come on. I'm unlike others and other channels, which they can run their channel however they want. Here, I'm about the conversation. I'm about having the conversation. So please, if you want the conversation, if that's what you want, if you want to say your piece, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what you think, what side you're on. Come up and have it. Come up and have it. I want to have it. I want to have the talk. And that's pretty much the direction my channel is going to be going on. I'm going to look for the conversation. I'm going to look for the hard conversation. I'm not going to look for the easy conversation. And it's not going to be like all the time. It's going to be the most popular thing or whatever. But like I want to know. I want to have information. I want to understand certain things, and I want to understand motives and how people operate. And so hopefully I get cool conversations. If I don't, whatever. Like I'll work with what I got. Um, but be looking for that in the future. And I don't know. I mean, to all the people, with anything that's gone on, if people want to call it a wash and be neutral and forget about it, I can forget about it. And I promise you, behavior wise, you won't ever hear anything from me. Okay? I've learned my lesson. I will not repeat any behaviors from the past. Looking forward from now on. Okay? If anybody feels like they need anything else from that, what can I tell you? Things have happened. Forget about it. If you can't, I'm sorry. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. But if like if things like are genuine, and you just you're simply tired of all the bullshit and you just want to have fun, that's what I'm here for. And if you just want to have a conversation, that's what I'm here for. Um, anything that I do to help people is to help them. If I told you and I asked you that you needed help, I'm gonna help you because I'm asking you if you need help, and if you need me to give you help, I will. If you want me to go on your panel, I will. If you want me to have fun, I will. Okay, that's it. Um, I don't have any grudges against anybody. I don't hate anybody. I think life is too short for that shit. Um, I've had I've known too many people, good people that have died that I don't really care to hold grudges. I know my friend over here, Garth, he does, but I don't. I really don't. So that's just for everybody out there. Um, I'm willing to give an olive branch to anybody. You guys don't have to like me or you want to talk to me or whatever. But I'm also I'm not gonna disrespect you if you're in the chat or whatever, or if you have something to say. I usually try to keep it cordial. So I'm throwing this stuff out there so you guys understand that like I'm done with I never wanted to come into this being somebody who, oh, I'm gonna you know be combative or whatever. And who cares? You know what I mean? Like I see too much of it. I see too much of it. I see too much of it in real life, man. I see people fight over the stupidest shit. I see people die over the stupidest shit. So I don't have no. I really don't. It doesn't give me any type of like um good feeling to be Mr. Tough Guy or anything like that. And for the people who understand that, like you understand that. I just I don't care. I don't care to be like some sort of like oh yeah, look at me. I'm the fucking the Superman or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't care about that. Oh, the only thing I care about is just chilling and having fun. That's why I think I've gravitated towards um Stone Vet because he's so much like the people that I've known. And also the thing is that his I'm in and out, type of like that's just the like like I grew up with brothers. I played on organized teams and stuff like that. There's just something that's like that's just something that's easy for me. I kind of understand it or whatever. And I think that um it's a good type of like um it's a good type of personality. I think if people were to let their guard down a little bit and not worry so much about his eccentricness or the way he kind of like he can get kind of like bothered or whatever. uh I think you'll find something good in him. I think he can bring a lot of people together if you just give him that chance. 'Cause I think he's a guy like Skeptic, where it's like he is who he is. He's honest about who he is, and he might come off as rough or whatever. He might come off as something that like you won't understand at first, but I think he's willing to understand you if you give him enough of a chance. So that's my take on Stone Vet, and I think that if you gave him more of a chance, if you gave him more of a chance to like hang out with him and stuff like that, I think you would understand where he's coming from with all that stuff. And I get it, I get it. People don't like to be attacked. Trust me, I didn't like it either. But hey, fuck, you reap what you sow. Like you fuck up, you fuck up. Stop fucking, like stop reaching for things that are gonna, like they're gonna try to protect you. Hey, dude, you fucked up, man. But that's pretty much it. Again, I'm kind of disappointed in Garth. He talks a lot of shit. I really wanted to have fun with him. But whatever, like I said, this is I think the direction of my channel is gonna be like that. It's gonna be hit and miss. Sometimes I'm gonna try to like have people that are fun. Some people are gonna say no. Some people are gonna say yes. But I really don't care. I really don't care about like how the conversations are gonna come up. But as long as I have these, you know, the type of conversation that I want to have, the interesting one. What is going on here? I got a phone call. Hang on. I'm not gonna answer it. I'm gonna decline it. I'll call them back. I hope that it's not. Oh, it's my okay. It's my friend Rudolph. All right. Uh, and maybe he's listening to my conversation right now. Rudolph, if you're listening, let me call you back right now because I'm noticing that you're calling me. But that'll be it for tonight. Thanks everybody for showing up. Anybody who showed up, I appreciate it. I hope you guys understand that it's okay. You can talk to me in the chat. I promise you that it's not gonna be bad. Okay, I hope everybody has a good night. Thank you so much. And big channels, call out Wrangler, please. You know, like that's the things he's skating. Somebody call out, somebody big, call him out, please. Thank you. Have a good night.